Good morning and thank you for tuning in to Silkway TV channel. I'm Balzhan Samigulina and today we bring you live coverage of a landmark event, the first official visit of Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, a long-awaited guest in our country. We will bring a live coverage here in our studio in Astana about significance of this event and explain what it means for the relations of two states. And now I'm joined with experts Ozhet Chigirbayev, who is a political observer and analyst. Thank you for joining us. And let me remind you that now we have already can see the internal of Accorda residence, where the hymn will be playing during the ceremony. And now we can see that Giorgia Meloni is already inside of the residence of President of Kazakhstan. She is already accompanied with Kazakh president and welcoming the Kazakh delegation. It is expected that today, on Friday, they will have bilateral talks as well as participated the first Italy Central Asia Summit, where will be also gathered the presidents of other Central Asian states. It is indeed the first visit of Italian Prime Minister to our country. It was planned that she will visit our country 26th and 27th of April, but it was postponed due to the loss of Pope Francis. And now we can see that President Tokayev is welcoming an intern Italian delegation. Indeed, Italy is one of the main trade partners of our country. part of welcoming Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, is about to be over, and the two leaders will go to have bilateral talks today on relations between the two states. And let me remind you that Italy is one of the main partners of Kazakhstan in the EU region, and today there will be Central Asia-Italy Summit take place in Astana. It means that two countries and the region itself is committed to take and to deepen the relations with the European partner. The trade turnover between Kazakhstan and Italy turned $20 billion last year alone. And it is expected that after this visit, increasingly, it will also enhance to collaborate in deeper. As we speak, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni arrived in Astana last night, where she was personally welcomed by President Tokayev. She had initially plans to visit Kazakhstan back in April on 26 and 27, following an official invitation from President Tokayev. The visit, along with the first Italy Central Asia Summit, was postponed due to the passing of Pope Francis. However, earlier this year, the two leaders met on the sidelines of Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, where President Tokayev congratulated the Italian Prime Minister on her birthday. And let me now switch to our speaker in our studio. What, Ojet, do you expect from this visit as the result, and what actually it means for two nations so far?
Well, first of all, we already had a business forum between Kazakhstan and Italy these last 2 days before, and we already signed investment contracts for 180 million of USD. It's new spheres. Of course, it's also about energy and energy sector, but now it includes new projects in the renewable energy sector. So if you talk about the Kazakhstan export to Italy, it's around 18-19 billions of USD. Mainly it's oil, crude oil, some metals, some raw materials, but also some agricultural products. Now, as we can see, we are trying to enhance, to expand our cooperation in the new fields.
Such as AI, I think.
AI also.
Kazakhstan and Italy are interested in this, and let me remind that last night at the airport, President Tokayev warmly welcomed Prime Minister Meloni. We've seen the videos already at from Accorda press service. It was highlighted that Italy is a key European partner, and President Tokayev noted that the recent Kazakh-Italian business forum is one of the key factors that also help engage for two countries. And Meloni in turn praised Kazakhstan's growing strategic importance and expressed hope that the upcoming summit would mark a turning point in regional cooperation. So, Ojet, we have just mentioned that two countries will deepen in other areas. So what exactly steps do you think will be taken in this, as the result of this visit? What exactly memorandums perhaps will be expected at this?
So first of all, I think it's finding new areas for attracting Italian investments to Kazakhstan economy.
Which is already quite high, right?
Yeah, since 2005 we have 7.6 billion of USD we attracted Italian investments to Kazakhstan. But last year we saw some decline in investment in inflow to Kazakhstan. Of course, it's due to geopolitical some challenges. But as already said, we have to expand and find new spheres, new technologies, manufacturing, not only raw materials, but also some kind of a new. Well, but if we talk, we have a good basis for it. For this expanding, because at the moment we have around 300 joint ventures, Kazakhstani Italians joint ventures, which are working in Kazakhstan economy.
And let me clarify some facts about today's guest. Giorgia Meloni is the first woman in history to serve as Prime Minister of Italy, having taken office on October 22, 2022. She previously held the post of Minister for Youth in the fourth government and has been the leader of the Brothers of Italy party since 2014 and has served as president of the European Conservatives and Reformists since 2020. According to her engagements, it's very obvious that Giorgia Meloni is very much believing to the international cooperation. She's very keen on having partnership with leaders and with countries from all over the regions of the world. We've seen many meetings in the US and also in Europe, in Africa. Now she is in Central Asia. Yesterday she was in Uzbekistan. Today she is in Kazakhstan. How would you explain her strategy in foreign policy as a Prime Minister? What could it give to our Kazakhstan as well to enhance perhaps partnership?
Well, she's quite active. She's quite active. She's trying to create new connections and to renew the old one. For instance, during the short meeting in the airport with our president, she said that she wants to expand Italian cooperation in Central Asia. In this regard, Kazakhstan becomes some kind of a gate for Italy in Central Asian region. And it's her first visit to Kazakhstan. It's her first visit to Central Asia. I believe so. So she's quite active. She wants to create the new system of cooperation, not only the great powers, but also between the middle powers. Yeah,
that's, I think, a great also position that can give a lot of influx. Then today's agenda includes the first Italy Central Asia Summit attended by President Tokayev and Prime Minister Meloni. All the regional cooperation with Italy began in 2019. This marks the first summit with the participation of the leaders of all 5 Central Asian countries and a European nation. It builds upon the momentum of the EU Central Asia Summit, which was held in April in Samarkand, and European leaders called it a new chapter in regional cooperation. During that meeting, the EU pledged $12 billion in investments to develop key sectors such as transport, rare earth materials, energy and digital technologies, but still it is the first one which is being held with Italy, because we know that there is a format of Central Asia with Germany, with Japan, with the US and other countries. How would you explain this? Why exactly Italy is interacting with in these formats with the region as a whole?
Well, first of all, as you already mentioned, we had the EU-CA summit, so I think it's some kind of pipeline after this summit. And Italy is looking at a lot of countries are working in the C5+ format, and also our president, in one of his articles, in one of his speech, he told that we will try to promote the CA+ format on the global level. We had the meetings with the USA, with Germany. This format works since the 90s with Japan. So the format CA+ Japan was created in the end of 1990s. It's actually a lot easier for Italy, because now she can come here and to face, during the one meeting, all 5 leaders of the states, and she can express all her interests of Italy in the region. First of all, it's of course the critical materials, but now we are talking not about findings and exporting some raw materials, but also processing them inside or in Kazakhstan, or if they find something in Uzbekistan. So now we're talking about the deepen of our cooperation.
Yes, I think Italian position and Italian interest is not different from the classic interest of European Union in general, that's in the areas that you have already mentioned. It's also worth noting that Kazakhstan is the main driver of inter-regional cooperation in 2024. Trade between Kazakhstan and the EU reached $50 billion, making up 80% of the EU's trade with Central Asia. Over 3,000 European companies operate in Kazakhstan, with top investors coming from the Netherlands, France, Belgium and Germany. This growing synergy between the research potential for Central Asia and the technological capabilities of Europe is seen as a promising path for development. Kazakhstan alone can expand trade with Europe in 175 product categories by up to $2 billion. We possess 19 out of 34 critical raw materials the EU has designated as vital. The Trans-Caspian international transport route continues to grow between the two countries in the interest as a strategic corridor which connects the east and west and north-south corridors. And President Tokayev has proposed increasing cargo volumes on this route to 10 million tons annually, and we can see that there are frequent visits of European leaders who also visit Kazakhstan and in general the Central Asian region to enhance and to put more investments to the middle corridor, which is going to be quite strategic route that will connect, as I already mentioned, Europe and Central Asia through China as well. How do you see the potential of this middle corridor?
Well, the middle corridor, one of the researchers says that its main capability is up to 25 million of due per year, and it's during these geopolitical challenges, some problems, some tariff wars, this route becomes the route of stability, because if we can see some states are trying to take China out of the trade chessboard, and China do not want it. And China tries to expand its transport and logistic capabilities. And of course, one of the main corridors is the middle corridor, which are also developing because of China, because of European Unions. European Union is also quite interested in getting some goods, some commodities from China, and also interested to export some goods and commodities to China. For instance, if we look to 2019, I think, or 2018, we saw that before China exported some goods to Europe, and the cargo came back, it was
not very
it was empty.
Amount, right?
So starting from 2018, we saw that European Union started to send some goods, commodities to China back using this corridor.
And also let me remind that diplomatic relations between Kazakhstan and Italy established in 1992. In January 2024, President Tokayev made his first official visit to Italy, where he had bilateral talks with President Sergio Mattarella and Prime Minister Meloni, as well as with heads of major Italian companies and UN food program leaders. A joint statement and a number of bilateral agreements were signed during that trip, and now, according to Kazakhstan's Ministry of Finance, in 2024, trade between Kazakhstan and Italy reached $20 billion, in which 18.7 billion in exports and 1.3 billion in imports, a 24% increase in comparison with 2023. So now, actually, I checked some data before starting this live stream that trade turnover in 2025 during these 6 months already reached 5 billion. So we are actually on track to reach the same volume as we reached last year. But also, let me take into account these geopolitical tensions. Do you think that the instability and Europe's readiness to increase expenses on defense, where Italy also expressed its readiness to do so, will it somehow prevent on enhancing and on increasing the trade turnover this year, do you think? And what is position of both Italy and Kazakhstan in terms of these international topics? Do you think they are aligned to each other?
Well, yeah, during the first quarter we saw that our trade turnover is 4.4, around 5 billion of USD. Yeah, it's increasing, and I think yes, and not only about the general numbers, 20 billions, 5 billions, but also about, I want to talk about the structure of our export. For instance, now European Union and Italy by itself are interested in the assessing the food security, and we can see that last few years we are increasing our export of some agricultural products like grain, some vegetables, some flour. So we have not look only at numbers, but we also have to look at the structure for our export. In the beginning of this year, for instance, we finally certified our honey to the European market. So we can see that there is an interest in some new goods, some new agricultural goods.
Our country has a great potential in food security.
Yeah, as you already said, we have a potential on 175 of products on totaling 2 billion of USD. So I think we have a good potential in this.
Yeah, and in terms of positions of Italy and Kazakhstan on international matters, how do you think they align to each other?
I think we have total understanding between two countries. So it can be seen that our president met Meloni by himself in the airport, that they already had the short meeting, And the Kazakhstan is a platform for CA plus Italy meeting. I think it's a great cooperation.
Yes, and we already seen some warm pictures from the airport that President Tokayev met Giorgia Meloni with her favorite pink peonies, and also he congratulated her with birthday in Abu Dhabi, as already it was mentioned in our live stream. So at the result, to sum up, Ujit, how, like, if to explain to Kazakh and Italian peoples, what is the significance of this visit and what it will bring to the population itself?
First of all, it's a new opportunity for making business, new opportunities for finding investments for your business, new opportunities for finding some partners in Italy to export your production. And of course, it all creates new economic possibilities which will directly affect the population, directly affect
the trade turnover as well.
Yeah, trade turnover, investment cooperation, and of course people-to-people cooperation.
Yes, and I know that Kazakhstan is very much supporting the project of Made in Italy. There are many products that are being accepted and proven to be sold, to be used by Kazakh people in our country. And thank you very much, Ujit, for your invaluable insights. It's clear that this visit is not only a stepping stone for greater cooperation between Kazakhstan and Italy, but it also holds the potential for shaping regional and global dynamics in the years to come. As the ceremonial part of today's visit wraps up, we will continue to follow the key developments and agreements that emerge from the meetings. Stay tuned as we bring you more updates on this exciting and important visit. Thank you very much for joining us.